Today in Your Money, we've all heard about our country's massive debt. In fact, it was recently downgraded by a rating agency, meaning they believe the U.S. is less likely to be able to repay its debts in the future. Here with us today to discuss the recent downgrade and how it might impact your investments, is certified financial planner professional Jeffrey Massey. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, now this can be kind of confusing for a lot of people, so break it down for us. We want to know, what actions did Standard & Poor's take regarding the government?
Well, Standard & Poor's, the rating agency, normally just referred to as the S&P, they are the ones that decide the risk on debt.
Okay.
So the federal government has always had a AAA debt rating. Now, because of the deficit spending that we have going on in Washington and the refusal for both parties to get together to compromise, they decided to downgrade the outlook, not the rating itself, the outlook from stable to a negative position. So keep in mind, our debt is still AAA rated.
Okay.
So we don't have to be too concerned about that yet, but it's certainly a warning for those who thought that the federal rating of AAA could never be downgraded, because obviously it's at risk right now.
Absolutely. Now, what would you say is the difference between long-term credit outlook and a regular credit rating?
The credit rating right now, again, it is still AAA.
Right.
The next rating change, the headline rating, would be a AA. Now, between that, so you've got AAA stable, AAA negative, which they just downgraded the Fed debt to, and then there's credit watch. Now that one is even a greater concern, and they're looking at the economic conditions in the next 6 to 24 months. That's the biggest issue when you look at those, what I call modifiers, from one rating down to the next.
Now, if the government does decide to downgrade, how will this impact our investments?
Well, the big part of that, if the debt is downgraded, then there's perceived risk, which means the government is going to have to pay a higher yield to attract investors because of that perceived risk that they have. So what do higher yields mean? Well, higher yields mean they're a benchmark for many consumer and business interest rates. So that means it can drive borrowing costs up. And the real double whammy is that on the back end of that, if the government has to increase their yield, that means that it's going to cost the federal government more and more money to pay down their own debt.
Oh,
that's
gosh.
the tough part.
That is tough. Whenever you said double whammy, I knew it was going to be bad. Didn't want to. Jeff, thank you so much for joining us. For more financial information from Massey & Associates, head to foxprovidence.com.